It was this calling that motivated our founder to create an inclusive, supportive community of insight, opportunity, and possibility where women, no longer alone in their journey, can feel free to work on their passions, bringing to life their own dreams and be the best they can be. So in Blooming Ladies Coop, we're building a global sisterhood of purpose-driven women who are going after their dreams and passion. We are making a difference in our world through our chosen vocation. Blooming Ladies is also built on the power of collective effort. We are collaborators and connectors. We educate and inspire. This is because we believe very much in the saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. We're creating space for you to thrive by providing you with a platform, both online and offline, where you have access to vital inspiration, connection, and education required to build a thriving life and business. Blooming Ladies, creating space for you to thrive. So, today we have our guest chef, Kumbi, who is the founder of Anke's Kitchen. She'll be teaching us how to prepare the healthy pepper sauce. If you'll be cooking along with her today, I hope you have your ingredients ready. Before we turn our full attention to our guest chef, I would like to say a very big thank you to our sponsor, which is GameSap Market Inc. We are lucky to have with us today Mrs. Sunny, who has a few words to share with us today. GameSap Market Inc. is a family-run business based in Calgary, Alberta, nestled against the foothills of the Rockies. Their outlets are open to the north and south central ends of the city for your convenience. They stock quality beauty products, food items, and spices from West Africa, East Africa, and some parts of South America. Their poultry and seafood section stocks many varieties of delicacies peculiar to these regions. At GameSap Northwest, they don't just sell you food and beauty products, they help their customers with a nostalgic home away from home gastronomical experience in Canada. So with this, I would like to introduce Ms. Sunny to please share a few words with us about GameSap.
Good evening, and happy to be with you this evening. And it's with great pleasure to be part of this group. And I want to say thank you for all the good work you started. And my prayer is the good Lord that has started with us is here through it all in Jesus' name. You said it all, but maybe just a few things I want to say about GameSap is just to encourage us as we're all growing and striving to be our best in all our endeavors. Yeah, just few things about GameSap is to, when I was told I would say some things about GameSap, I was thinking, Lord, what will I say? And looking back, I just want to appreciate God and the help that He has given us to be able to stand to this time. I remember when we came to Canada newly, I think back in 2008. So I started this business almost immediately, and I started from home. So starting from home, it was, you start small. And by 2013, God opened up a place for me at Deerfoot Mall. So unfortunately, less than 1 year, they asked me to move. So it was challenging, but God was so faithful. After letting me go, God opened up 2 other stores for me. And by the grace of God today, as my sister already said, we have 2 locations to serve both north and south of Calgary, which is just by the hand of God. And she already says, what GameSap is all about by the grace of God, because we are Christians, we are God-fearing, we have interest of our customers at heart. So anytime you want to come to GameSap, just know that you are coming to a place where you'll be valued, and we are not just looking at taking your money, we are looking for how to be a blessing to you. So at the moment, by the grace of God, we are into both wholesaling and retailing. So if you are looking to, maybe you want to start something on your own and you are looking for who will support you, by the grace of God, will be there for you. And if you are looking for product, you don't know where to get it, you can also, let us know. We'll do our best to make sure we try to source it for you. So, and just as Bible says, talk about Cain, when God was asking him of Abel, he said, am I my brother's keeper? We want to say we are not going to be in that group. We have to be each other's keeper. So we'll be there for you by the grace of God. In any way you want to be supported, by the grace of God, anything we can do, we'll be able to do it by the grace of God. So thank you so much for giving us this forum to come online, so to say. And to each and every one of us in this group, my prayer is that God will keep us close to himself and also prosper the work of our hands. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Ma. We really, really appreciate you. We appreciate your support of the Blooming Ladies Coop. It's amazing just hearing your story, especially for myself as a relatively new immigrant, just hearing where you've come from, the challenges that you faced, and how you overcome them. And most inspiring for me is the fact that what you just said, we're not just here to take your money. We're here to bless. We're here to help you in any way we can. To me, that is just customer service. It's a lot beyond just taking people's money. It's adding value as well. I remember when I just moved to Calgary, my uncle was the first person or one of the first people that came to visit us, and he brought us a big bag of fish from GameStop. And since then, honestly, when we need fish, especially, GameStop is where we get it from. So once again, thank you so much. And we pray that God answers your prayers concerning your business, especially as you support others who are up and coming as well. We are now going to move on to the cooking segment. Chef Kumbi of Ainke's Kitchen will be taking us on a culinary journey of preparing healthy pepper sauce. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Kumbi. Kumbi or Ainke, I don't know. I know as Ainke, but some people call her Kumbi. I don't think she minds which one you call her, but you can let us know in a minute. Kumbi is the CEO, founder of Ainke's Kitchen. She's an entrepreneur, a mom of two beautiful kids, and now the executive producer of Ainke's Family Show. She's also the head chef, as we know, at Ainke's Kitchen. Ainke's Kitchen began with a mission to nurture harmony in homes. Over the last 3 years, they have been committed to providing delicious, freshly prepared Afro-ethnic delicacies, especially to busy families, so that families can focus on spending more quality time with each other during meals while creating memories of times filled with laughter, peace, and harmony. In line with the mission to nurture harmony in homes, she has also created a family show titled AK Cooking Show. I can't wait to hear more about this show. For the first half of season 1, she'll be hosting some amazing dads cooking with their sons or daughter. Well, that is a lot. And from what I know about Anike, I know that she's only provided us with a bio that doesn't include everything that she does. She has a lot of other things that she does on the side as well. But Anike, we're very happy to have you here with us today. Can you please tell us more about what you'll be teaching us today?
Hi, everyone. Welcome in. As she said, my name is Anike from whichever one. People know me to different names. Thank you for joining us. Today, I'm going to be walking you through how to make a healthier pepper sauce. So pepper sauce is one staple in African food, especially Nigeria. I mean, there's a lot of things that pepper sauce can do at home. You can swallow, you can use it for rice, you can use it as a dip, you can use it for potatoes, like literally anything, with beans. It's almost that one soup that every family wants to have in the fridge. So that means we consume it a lot. So now, consuming it a lot, our goal is today is to educate you on how you can actually consume it the right way and still get a positive result for your body. So I'm going to be walking you guys through. There's going to be 3 different stages. The first stage is when I get to talk about all the ingredients that have been listed and what it's good for in our body. And also, I'm also going to be talking about the oil. So why I chose to go with the virgin oil instead of canola oil or peanut oil that we're used to.
That was going to be one of my questions, actually, because I know olive oil is not a staple in most Nigerian homes. So I'm really intrigued to hear about your reason why you picked olive oil. But sorry for interrupting you. Continue.
No problem. So yeah, and then after that, I'm going to be showing you how to, from a Nigerian home, raised by a Yoruba woman, I'll tell you, the best way to make Yoruba sauce is blend it all the way, boil it, take it through that step. So there was someone who said, I think it was Sephora, that said she's interested because there's a certain way that our food needs to look, or a certain way that if it looks that way, then that's the correct meal. Like, it's not even tasty. Look alone is inviting, and so we're going to try and achieve that, but at the same time put our health in mind. At the same time, be conscious while we're making it. At the same time, focus on what we're actually going to be getting from this amazing ingredients that we should be consuming anyway every day. So I'm going to get right into it.
Okay.
Is there anyone that will be cooking today, or it's just me cooking?
Is anyone cooking along with Ainke today? Is anyone brave enough to do this? Anyone? If you be cooking along, just pop it in the chat.
But the good thing is, even if you're not cooking, just get your pen, get your paper, or it would really help to have, because you're gonna learn something today. You will.
For sure.
First of all, I'm going to be wiping my hands, making sure that it's clean. I decided to blend out my peppers, which from the recipe that I've put down, I would walk you guys through the recipe. So here's all the items.
Okay.
Here I have 2 habanero peppers. I have like a tomb of ginger, garlic. I'm not going to use all of this. And then, you guys can see from here. Awesome. So again, I have the bell peppers that we use today, the tomatoes and onions.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you a question, Aika. So I know if you give a bunch of people a recipe, Nigerians, to make stew, stew always tastes different. Like no matter what you put inside is always different. But my question for you is like, is there a method behind your combination of peppers and tomatoes? Like why have you picked three bell peppers and 3 tomatoes? Do you want your bell peppers to be more than your tomatoes? Like what is that chemistry going on there?
That's a very good question. For me, I think it's more like one has most vitamins, and what do I need? Like what exactly do I need from peppers? What do I need from tomatoes? What actual nutrients do I get from this? Like
yeah.
That's the first.
Let's just start one. Part 2 is what goes between Sunday.
Thank you. Okay, carry on again.
Thank you. Secondly, I also make proportion. Give it that it's not too much of tomatoes. I want as much peppers, just because I prefer peppers. So it's really up to people. Like some people would want their soup filled with tomatoes and less pepper. Just really depends on the preference and how you like to cook. But for me, I always think about it like, why do I need this much tomatoes? And why do I need this much pepper? Because then I can always see the value in both of them and then use the one that is more based on the nutrients that I'm looking for.
Okay, sounds good. Carry on.
I'm gonna head in, and I'm going to be using the Anita's Kitchen chicken seasoning. So this chicken seasoning has been made by myself, and it's been a combination of all like really great herbs that I think that is good for cooking, that can bring out the flavor of food.
Okay.
And also it contains less MSG, and it contains sea salt. So I'm really concerned about like what actually goes in the jar too. Just because I don't want to put too much of Maggi, I want to be able to proportion and make that not exact. Because again, it's not a bad idea to like flavoring your food is good. I've seen a lot of nutritionists, and as a health and wellness coach myself, I've seen a lot of nutritionists say you have to cut down your Maggi, or you should completely not eat Maggi, and you would stay in. No.
That can be hard. That can be hard for a lot of people. But I'm with you when you say reduce it, but when you say cut it out completely, maybe I'll get there someday.
I don't think I'll get to the point where I'll never use Maggi to cook, and that would determine like my healthiness. So Maggi it's just a flavor.
Yeah. Okay.
It contains MSG, but then it's important for you to know which ones like you want to actually use to, like you want to compare and contrast, because at the end of the day, you're still getting the flavor out of it. So.
Okay, so let's get started.
Let's get started. I have blended all the ingredients together in here.
Okay.
Yeah. So everything in here is of the measurements. And then, so this stuff that I'm going into right now, I choose to do it and boil my pepper for a while. Normally, in a regular African household, most African household, boiling the pepper so all the water can dry out. Because that's when once it's dry, you get to fry it, and then they believe that's when you get the flavor, and then you can now get excited and keep it at that fried, or you want to like boil it a little bit more. It's really, it's a lot.
I know, and I know that can sound bizarre to non-Nigerians. Like I feel like when Nigerians or the average Nigerian is cooking, we tend to cook and overcook just to get the final ingredients. Like how many deaths does a chicken have to die before we can eat it? We boil it, we grill it, and then we'll cook it again in stew. So I guess that is similar to what we do with the pepper sauce. So when we blend it, some of us reduce it first, and then after reducing it, we put it in oil to fry, and then we wait for all the liquid to evaporate, and so on and so forth. So yeah, let's see how this goes.
Okay, so I didn't blend my pepper, so I'm going to show you guys how it looks. I did not blend my pepper like all of the way, just because I want to still see like the crush. I want to see all of this, like it kind of gives texture. So I like that. Okay. Some would like to blend it all the way. But for me, I prefer it this way. So it's really up to you. So I'm just going to use my spatula to kind of drain out the water.
Okay. Okay. So I guess a way to get away from cooking it for too long is to drain the water out of it.
Yeah. Although my goal isn't to drain the water out. My goal is to drain some of the water out. Because when you're gonna blend your pepper, you add a little bit of water. So the reason why pepper is good, it contains, I believe, vitamin B12. It contains a lot of water too. It's one of the high rate of vitamins that contains water. And anything that contains water is really good for our body, because our body is 90% water. So you want to add more water to it, to flush, to replenish, and to rejuvenate. So
it's funny because after our conversation yesterday, I did some research, and peppers actually contain about 92% water. If I read that correctly.
So we need all of that water. Like need it so much. It's so important for us. Like, there's a reason why it's there. And there's a reason why our body too contains 90% of water. So
Sure.
that can always be, yes, in that flow. For us to be in good health, for us to also be in good shape.
Okay.
Like our own food. So,
Okay. So I'm guessing you're heating up the olive oil
yes,
before you.
right now I'm not heating up any oil.
Okay.
It's just it's just a plain pot. I'm going to pour in the pepper.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. And while we wait for that to simmer up, I actually have a few questions for you. So when I moved to Calgary, you were one of the caterers that came within my radar pretty quickly. And something I noticed from your narrative, which has been consistent until now, is the fact that you're so pro health. And I'm just like, okay, how is that possible? How is that possible? And I'm quite pleased I'm the one hosting you making this pepper sauce, right? And out of intrigue, because like when I want to order Nigerian food, I always like when I can get it like ASAP as opposed to ordering in advance. And unfortunately, you live too far from me, so DoorDash couldn't help me. So anyway, I think it was last week or a couple of weeks ago, I ordered a bunch of food from you. I ordered jollof rice, moi moi, suya. Oh, I think I'm forgetting something. I ordered a bunch of meat pie. I'm like, okay, let me taste what this healthier version of your food tastes like. And I must say that the taste of everything, I could tell you didn't put like a lot of MSG, like a lot of Maggi. And honestly, like it tasted good. Like your jollof rice is probably my favorite of everything on there. I was just like, okay, this works. So it is possible to eat Nigerian food without like putting lots of all that stuff in it.
Absolutely. And it's funny because every single Nigerian recipe that we use at Anita's Kitchen, because all our recipes are written out, and every single recipe that we've written, we always take out one thing or the other. There's always that, okay, maybe there shouldn't be as much oil. Okay, so when it comes to meat pie, why don't we choose a better type of a plant-based butter? What does that look like? I mean, then like, okay, so if we're using this, or you know, like if we're cooking jollof rice or fried rice, like you barely see oil in our food.
Yeah.
Barely. And that's like nutrition is key. Even though all this food comes with the cooking oils that we normally use, but it very, I mean, you don't necessarily need to go so high.
Okay.
You don't necessarily need to go so high.
And I guess it makes sense. Like I say, like I guess it's just habits that we've learned, right? But then my question for you is, when did you decide to start cooking healthy? Did you have a health scare, or did you just wake up one day and you were just like, I don't feel good, I need to change something? Like where did that change come from?
Yeah, so I would say that was my awakening. So I had my first two kids. No, I had my first kid, and I knew I would go for workouts, you know, like all of those things you kind of know, but then you quickly shred the baby weight for the first one because it's easier, faster. And then the second child, I had my second child, and it was a total different story. Like I was triple the size. That's like 4 years ago, actually. I was triple the size. I was sick. I had problems with my knee. I had high blood pressure at some point because my upper body couldn't take my lower body. And it was just, so I had a problem with my knee. It was a whole lot of complications. And then I decided at some point, and I'm like, okay, I genuinely need to fix myself. And, you know, the first thing you always think about is, if you're fixing yourself, you need to go to the gym, you need to go and spend hours. And, you know, and I did all of that. I did it all, but none of that worked. None of it worked. And then I started, you know, getting coaches, hiring coaches to understand. And then people would write out their meal plans for me, but it just doesn't work. As much as I try.
I know, like as a serial weight loser myself, you know, I can understand what you're saying.
Those meal plans, they don't work. You try multiple, not that they don't work, sorry. If they work, if you follow the meal plan, it's just that because you're used to a certain way of eating, you like your taste bud is used to something different. And now you're telling me that I need to compensate my taste bud every day.
Yeah.
Just to remain in this, no, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So that's why it doesn't work. So at that point, I decided I wanted to do something for myself. Like I wanted to create, because I was cooking anyways. I was cooking for my family. I was cooking for friends. I love to cook. As of then, I was still working as a family counselor.
Okay.
Yeah, and I loved my job, but there was just that 1% that wasn't, you go to work and love your job and love your clients, but it's that 99% looks good, but that 1%, you feel empty.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I started researching about, okay, what food do I need? How can I turn this food to Nigerian food? And how can I make it work that anytime we sit on the table as a family, I'm not eating couscous and so everybody eating pounded. Yeah, it's not gonna work.
Fair enough. I think there can be that disconnect when everyone around the table is having our typical meals, and I guess as a Nigerian, your typical meals are Nigerian food. But then when you think about healthy food, because for some reason, the Caucasians and other cultures, they seem to have nailed down this healthy eating. Like a lot of them introduce a lot of salads, but then when we eat spinach, we end up cooking our spinach in palm oil. And so we don't get all of the nutritional benefits that we could possibly get from it. And obviously cooking things 1,000,001 times, that obviously doesn't add to what we're trying to get. Okay, so while we wait for Ayinke to come back, like I've said before, I'm a food, I love food. I just love food, like name it. Fortunately for myself, be it Nigerian, Asian, be it pho, be it cheese and crackers, like anything, as long as it tastes good, I love it. So learning to eat good food in a healthy way is, goodness, a plus for me. So Inke, let's see, how is the sauce coming along?
Okay, so right now I'm just putting in Anita's chicken seasoning. This chicken seasoning, and the aroma is really good. So can
we see what the sauce looks like? So that those cooking at home or those who are going to try this at some other time, sorry, the sauce, so they know when to put in the spice. So if you tilt the frying pan, tilt the frying pan, so that our viewers at home can see what the sauce should look like at the time they're putting their sauce, their spice in it.
So this is what the sauce should look like. Literally.
Okay.
So you still want that water in there, because the goal is not to take out the water, right? The goal right now is not to take out the water. So this is what it should look like.
Okay. And I know you've got a spice range coming along soon, and this is your chicken spice. So in your chicken spice, if I use this to cook this pepper sauce, would I still need to put salt in it, or would your chicken spice suffice?
Okay, so depending on what you're cooking and what your health program is at the moment. Some people, maybe they have like high cholesterol or diabetes. They want to reduce the amount of salt that they eat. Okay. If you're going to be using this seasoning, you're good. Okay. But then again, here is my sea salt. My favorite sea salt is from Pigland.
Okay. Okay.
So my favorite sea salt is from Pigland. And I prefer to use a sea salt than use an iodine salt, because a little bit of sea salt goes a long way. But an iodine salt, you keep going and keep going and keep going before you achieve that desired taste. So a lot of people go, I don't know how to use this salt because it's too sweet. But then you're supposed to just use a little bit.
A pinch of it. Yeah.
So I would suggest that it depends on what you're making for this particular sauce and this particular recipe. Let's say one spoon should just do, like one measuring tablespoon should do for this. And you should be able to get that taste that you want There should also be salt in there, but there's some people who like a little bit more salt than usual.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that little bit, I would say just season it to your taste.
Fair enough, because people have different tastes. Okay, so I would just like to welcome those who joined partway through. We have Anike from Anike's Kitchen, who is teaching us how to make healthy sauce. So far, what we've learned is you don't have to reduce your pepper blend before you start cooking it. One, we also learned that the water from your peppers are actually really good. You can drain some of it, but don't drain it all. Your sauce does not need to be dry. And this event we're having today has been made possible because our sponsors, GameStop Market, has made it so. We thank them once again. And please, when you're doing your shopping, if you need to buy some proteins, fish, whatever it is, check them out. So Anike, I'm going to segue a little bit. I know you have a show coming up, and it's about dads cooking with their sons or their daughters. And I remember I shared, when you were looking for some dads, I shared it on a group, and someone said, "Oh, why dads? Why not moms?" And I remember one of your comebacks was like, "It's always moms cooking. Like you want the experience to be different, you want it to be that." So tell us a little bit about actually. We'll hold that thought. You're about to put the olive oil in. Tell us what you're doing right now, and then we'll come back to the show.
Okay. So the cooking show is called AK Cooking Show. Am I holding on or am I talking?
Oh no, I was saying, you're about to put the olive oil in. So I was gonna say, tell us a bit about this process.
Talk about a little bit about the olive oil before we go into that. Yeah. So at this point, so here I added a little bit of salt because I wanted it more salty to my own personal taste. But every other thing, Maggie is perfect without wanting to give the exact recipe.
Okay.
So now I'm gonna go ahead with my oil.
Okay, everybody hold your breath right now, because this is not going to be as much as we would normally put when we're making sauce at home. But we need to try this. Like, I challenge everyone, if you're not cooking along, try this before you shoot it down. So my breath is held. I'm waiting to see how much oil you're going to put in this thing.
So I'm going to put it in my extra virgin olive oil. It doesn't matter if it's extra or if it's virgin. The most important thing is that you're using an olive oil. And the reason is because olive oils, it's healthier for you to cook with if it's virgin olive oil. So because there are different types of olive oils out there. Like, you want to make sure that if you're cooking with olive oil, you're cooking with the right type. Because there should be a percentage of heat that each type of olive oil can take. So you want to make sure that, yes, and that's the reason too. Even though an extra virgin olive oil is good for cooking, you still don't want to cook it for so long, because then you're taking out the value that you're supposed to get from it. That also comes with this sauce. Like, we could cook this sauce a lot longer than this and keep going for like the next, so that the whole water is gonna be dried out. But at that point, you're actually drying out the nutrients. You're drying out all the vitamins. So the more you cook, the more heat takes control of these amazing vegetables, the lesser the nutrients is going to be. So once you have this on your mind, there's no way you're going to and you're conscious about your health, and you choose to try it, because if you don't try it, you never know. So you can go this, and that's why I make a really small ingredient list and a really small recipe, so you can try and see, just in case. So you're not making a whole pot of soup.
For sure.
You're like, yeah, what's this?
So is it ready for the oil now?
But yes, I'm going to be adding the extra olive oil because I'm about to come closer to the end of cooking this delicious pepper.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm looking here. I can't find my pen measuring, but I'll use this, guys. So this is equivalent to 104. This is what
Okay.
it is.
Oh my goodness. That's all. That's all the oil.
Yes, that is all the oil.
Okay, that is impressive. Okay, so obviously this is a virtual cooking show. Unfortunately, we will not be able to taste what you're cooking tonight, but if you really want to taste what Ayinke's cooking tastes like, visit our website. It's www.ayinkeskitchen.com. Order some food from her, and then you can taste her food. But obviously, if you're cooking along, if you follow our recipe, I would expect it to taste similar.
And also, guys, just in case you don't have an intestine chicken seasoning, let me give you another recipe. Let me be nice. Just in case you have your Noma at home, or you have your Maggi and you want to use your Maggi, depending on which one you want to use, I think a cube should just do fine. If you're using the cubes that come together as two, one is fine for this amount of sauce.
Okay.
Let's say you're using the crayfish that has like a big tablet looking shape. You should half of that too. That should be fine for this particular recipe.
Yeah, and I'm guessing any of the stock they sell in superstores, because I know not everyone is going to have access to Knorr or crayfish cubes, like the bouillon cubes they sell in the supermarket. I'm sure they can use some of that as well.
Yes, the sauce. I think someone said the sauce looks really good. It does look good. It smells good. The herbs and spices in this chicken seasoning is amazing. I'm having just some parsley, I have some ginger, some garlic, a lot of amazing nutrients in this. And you can use it for various things, like as it's a chicken sauce, but you can use it for your stew. You can use it to season like any type of meat.
Yeah.
You can use it for garnishing. But that on the side, so I'm going to answer that question you asked me.
Yes, about the dad's cooking show. Tell us more about that.
Yes, the cooking show. So as you all know, because Dami has already introduced us, Ayinke's Kitchen mission is to nurture harmony in home. And the cooking show was a way to give back to the community that supports us, that supports our vision, and that keeps us here till now. And so the cooking show is also to break barriers. It's also to break, to influence generations. So it's not about the dad, it's not about the parents, it's about what the future looks like. It's about what are we leaving for our kids? Like how are we changing the mindset that we've grown into, that we literally believe that this is the way things are. So the cooking show is literally to open up the minds of families to have a little bit more options of activity. So, like the cooking show sprung from my personal experience. My dad loved my food no matter how I cooked it. Like even when I make their mother and had food, my dad loved it. I was a very strong daddy's girl. So it was Coco means seed for those who are not Yoruba. And so it's something that for me, that's what I remember at the age of 30, and I'm sharing with you guys. That is my own memory with my dad. So the cooking show is to build memories between parents, and also to build memories for generations to come, to empower the next dad. So the first half of the season was focused on daddy's recipe. So we know that there's this stereotype, the label that African men, Black men, Afro men, most men in general do not like to cook.
Yeah.
The moment they have kids, one way or the other, even if he's making just noodles, the dad is making noodles. So because there will be a time mommy is not available. And mommy is not there, and when groceries and everybody's hungry.
And even if mommy is there, sometimes mommy needs a break, right? So I love that the show is going to break stereotypes. And so my question for you, is our sauce ready yet?
Almost.
Okay.
Almost.
So my question for you is, when can we expect the show to start airing? Where do we watch? Is it going to be on YouTube? What are the plans for this show?
Okay, so we are hoping that the first season will come out on Father's Day. It's a
Nice.
recipe. It would be just amazing. But yeah,
Nice.
so that would be in July, I believe, July or June.
Nice.
It would be heard on private platforms, but we would let you guys know as it goes. You can follow Anka's Kitchen on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, and also on YouTube. So
Yeah,
all
for
the
sure.
information are there, and we also have our website where we put in all information, and it's www.ankaskitchen.com.
I've just
we
shared
look
your
forward to the
website
show.
on the chat, and I'm just going to share your Instagram handle for anyone you just like to give Anke a follow on Instagram to find out more about the show.
Yes. So that is it for the show. We're going to be, the next episode is going to be, we're bringing in the whole family. It's not just going to be about daddy. It's not going to be about mommy. We want to see grandmas cook amazing food.
Oh my goodness. Tell me about it. Quick real life story, right? So tonight I was hungry and I was telling my husband, I said, you know what? I feel like a good pho, like, noodles, like, in soup. That's really what I want to eat. And while I was trying to figure out where I was going to get that from, my mom just walks in with a tray of rice with sauteed spinach and fish. I was just like, gosh, who needs pho when you've got your mom's cooking, right? So that was dinner for me. That was dinner done. Yeah. So for sure, grandma's have great recipes.
Delicious. Yeah. So we're gonna do grandmas. We're gonna come to grandpas. We're gonna do uncles, auntie. Bring the family together. The goal is to bring the family together. The goal is to make it easier for the parents to believe that you can cook and make it fun and involve your kids when you're cooking, because they need that skill too. They need to learn how to cook, and it could be fun, and it could be that activity that you never got to do.
Yeah, I agree with you. How is our sauce coming along?
Okay, so I'm letting it sit for a bit, and the reason why I like to do this is so that the oil can kind of like come up. So I just turn it off. I've turned off the heat.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you to show us what it looks like now, and then show us what it looks like when the oil comes up. Now, when the oil comes up is a technique my mom taught me when I first learned how to cook stew. I was like, when do I know when it's ready? How do I know when? I just said, you will know when it's ready when the oil comes to the top. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yep.
Okay, so this is what it looks like
so
now.
It would look, once it's freshly cooked, because the oil is heated up and there's just so much tension with it, it kind of like mix up with the water. Yes, mix up with the water, mix up with sauce, and then it looks like this. So I turned it so that I could show you guys this, because it was already coming up.
For sure. Well, you know what? I'm actually quite impressed that the sauce looks like this, because when I didn't see you reduce it, I was a bit worried that, oh my goodness, it's going to be one of those watery pepper sauces, but it looks thick, and now I can see how you can easily have this with pasta, with potatoes, with rice, with bread, if that's what you want to do.
And just the same thing with your stew, with your regular home stew. You can have it with anything. And also, like, palm oil is healthy. It's also another choice. If I don't have a virgin oil, I would go for palm oil.
For sure.
Because it's cold pressed. It comes from, like, when you look at the history of palm oil and what actually sourced it out, depending on the amount you're using, a little bit like this, like for this kind of soup, one of us will be too much if it's a thick palm oil. Make sure it's like, because one of our four will be like triple the size when it's melted. So that's too much. Make sure it's melted before you put it in. But yes,
fair enough.
Go for anything with your.
That's good to know. Yeah. And while we wait, sorry,
our oil is coming up.
So I can see it. Yeah. So while we wait for the oil to rise to the top, I'm just going to do a quick shameless plug about the Blooming Ladies Coop. And first of all, thank you to the ladies of the Blooming Ladies Coop who have made this event possible. I am a member myself, and I've been benefiting from all the great events that they put up, all the resources that they have for us. So if you want to become a member, you have the option of being a basic member, a premium member, and as a small business, you could also have a small business partnership. I am going to share the link of the website where you can find out more about membership. And if you think, okay, maybe this is not for you, although I find it very hard to believe why this would not be for you, and you want to gift it to a friend, there is also the option to do that. Now, back to you, Anike. We have a question from one of our guests who is saying, is the heat still on? Did you lower it? Is it the same level of heat, or is it switched off?
Okay, so the heat is currently off. I turned off the heat about 3 minutes ago. Just about 3 minutes or less.
Okay. Okay, so you've turned it off.
Yeah, I turned it on because I know that the porch is still going to be a little bit hot. Like okay. I'm using a stove pot, but then this doesn't. The moment you turn it off, it goes off completely. But for your own stove, like it will still be hot a little bit. So it's that heat that is going to bring out the oil slowly, and it will come up to the top. But then again, remember that there isn't a lot of oil here. So you're not using a lot of oil in the first place. What you just want to see is that you want to make sure that I'm going to use an example. So you want to make sure that you're seeing oil from, like, can you guys see like this? So you're seeing oil just like pass around and like come to the top. Yes, that's your goal. We're not looking to see dripping oil and things like that. And this will conveniently feed, so even if I'm like dividing it in a pizza cut, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will conveniently feed 5 people for a meal. But you guys are going to put it on top of, and because it's thick too, it's a very thick sauce. So if you put this on top of your white rice, or on top of your basmati rice, or beside your yam, or besides, at the same time, you're getting the vegetable part of it, like peppers are vegetables. You need to still incorporate greens, but peppers are vegetables. So it depends on like how you're taking it. That's the most important thing, like how you're balancing what you get.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. That looks yummy. I can only imagine that it tastes yummy as well. I'm going to pretend like I can smell it because, you know, I love it when like you smell good food, you taste it, everything just, you know, blends together. So thank you so much for your time. Before we bring the meeting to an end, I just want to correct myself actually. So when I was talking about the membership, something I forgot to mention was the fact that up until those who are already members, your members starts counting from like August onwards. So you get access to everything right now, but from August onwards is when you actually are or your membership is as of August onwards. And for new members or those who are going to be joining the co-op, you get a discount up until August. So I would advise you get in as soon as you can, and you know, start reaping the benefits of this amazing co-op. So we have a few announcements. First of all, the first members meeting that the Blooming Ladies Co-op will be having is going to be held on Saturday, May 1st at 7 p.m. and emails will be sent out to all members, which will be those who are paid members of the Blooming Ladies Co-op. There would obviously be other events, like we've had this one, we've had a few actually already. There'll be other events. If you sign up to our mailing list, if you become a member, you hear more about them. This is called the Bloom Nutrition Series. There's the Bloom Career Corner, the Bloom Business Clinic, the Bloom Book Club, the Bloom Sisters Hike, and so on. What the Blooming Ladies Corp is here for is to serve its members. So if any of the things I've said here does not appeal to you and you become a member, send them an email and, you know, I'm sure someone will add it to the list. For me, what appeals to me of everything here, nutrition, because like I said, I love food, and the book club, because I love to read as well. So Anike, once again, I would just like to say thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much to Ms. Sunny from GameStop Market. We're really grateful for your sponsorship.